Hey Britt, thanks for being
Hey.
here. I'm so happy that I've gotten to know you over the past few months. I feel so fortunate that our paths have crossed and we've become, peers in the food industry and friends. And I'm really happy that you're here and working with me on getting the new pantry out into the world.
I'm so honored to be here and so happy to know you and get to know you and I'm really just like happy that our paths have crossed and like the amount of like similarities that we have. Like look at our clothes. Look at like what we're wearing, but
I wasn't
just
saying.
like I know. And I just love your vibe. So thank you for having me on today.
So, do you want to share a little bit about please and thank you for our listeners? I think it just sounds a lot better coming from you than me.
Yeah, so P&TY Granola Co. is all about real food, real ingredients, but being fueled by respect. So all of our products are gluten-free, dairy-free. We make our own nut butters, and the only sweetener we use is a honey out of Minnesota. So we are Minnesota grown, certified, and then everything that we make is named after manners. So everything that we try to do is just to bring a little bit of respect, a little bit of consideration. Like, I want to see you, I want to hear you. And sometimes we just need a little reminder about that. So, if our bars are so good that on a daily basis we're gently reminded just to consider or think outside of ourselves, I think that we're doing a good thing around that. And then finally, everything is wrapped in eco-friendly packaging. So if you put that all together, it's real food, it's fueled by respect, and we're taking care of the earth. And so I think those three things, we're doing an okay thing with that.
I love it. I love what you're doing. I just think it's amazing.
Thank you.
So let's get into it and let's start with somewhat of a curveball. What's something that's completely been unexpected, that's happened since you started putting Golden Rule bars out into the world?
I think I might bucket this into two different things. So, one is like around the mission. As I started talking about manners with people and started talking about respect, it almost like was surprising. Like when I started it, it resonated with me, right? Like around manners and how important it was. But as I talked to other people, they were like, this is really important. And there wasn't a single person out there that was like, nope, don't care about that. I don't care about respect or I don't care about the golden rule. They're like, we need more of this. And I care about that. And wow, like if my kids eat this, are they going to be like, are they going to do manners? Or like, if I give this to my grandparent, are they going to actually like say thank you? And they just kept talking about how important that was and that like resonated with me. And maybe one of the most surprising things was just a couple weekends ago, I was at a market and she was talking to me about my brand and I told her about manners and why they were named after those things and she started crying. She was like, this means something. And she's like, there's a reason why I stopped and I talked to you. And she just like had tears rolling down her face because she was like, manners and respect means something, and that matters to our community, and we need more of that. And so, sure, a granola bar that says thank you or sharing is caring is a small piece, but that's a part of the ripple effect. And I think that might be one of like the most unexpected things is like the biggest impact that that can have and it actually is making an impact. So that was one piece and maybe the other piece has to do with like this company is showing me what I'm capable of doing. I never knew that I could bring a company to where it is now. I didn't think that I could grow a CPG, a consumer packaged good company. I'm not a part of this industry. I never knew about this industry, and this industry is wild. And there's so many facets of this industry I never knew about. And so from like branding and distribution and markets and doing things I never thought that I could do while having a full-time job and being a mom and a wife and like a friend and a daughter, like I guess it's kind of blowing my mind a little bit about like how capable that I can be. And so if I step back out of the weeds a little bit, because you know, when you're in it, it's kind of like this is a lot. Like holy bazooka, this is a lot. But if you step out a little bit and you're like, I am capable of doing some really cool things. And that's pretty wild to me sometimes.
How amazing that your kids can watch you do that. That'd be great. So take me back to the early days. Was there a moment that made you think this isn't just granola, like this is something bigger? Like what was that like?
So way back then, I started making granola bars because my husband Trevor, he was eating a granola bar that just had no nutrition in it. And I looked at him and I was like, there's nothing in this. He was like, yeah, but it tastes good. And I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can make you something different. And we didn't have kids at the time. I had one job. Like I could like make things and like had all the time in the world. I made him a granola bar and he liked it. He loved the taste. I put like extra ingredients in there and I was like, this has nutrition. And I was like, I can hide this in there and put like peanut butter and Nutella and flaxseed and like loaded it up with like healthy oats and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, this is great. And that's the original granola bar. That's the part of me, the blue one that we sell right now. That's what started it all. And he loved it. And at the time, I didn't think anything of it. That was just me making him granola bars. And then I made a flavor for myself. And that now is the sharing is caring, which is the purple one. And again, didn't think anything of it until fast forward, probably 4 years from then, I was doing events for Whole Foods Local. And I was event planner at the time and I did road shows for them. And I brought my granola bars on site because I just wanted to bring something homemade for the staff. We're on site for long hours and stuff. And the staff came up to me and they're like, Britt, what's this granola bar? I was like, oh, I made it. It's homemade. Like, I just wanted to bring something for you guys since we're on site for so long. And they're like, this is different than what's on site. Like, you should do something with it. And they go, we will have to change the ingredients in there though, like, because you don't have the right ingredients. Like, it's not going to make it on the shelf. But, like, you have something that's different. You should do something with it. So it wasn't until 2019 until somebody was like, this is good enough to be on the shelf. You should do something with it. And that's when I started to, like, really think maybe I could sell something. And so that's what started out.
I love that some of your initial early recipes are still part of the line and
Yep.
still on your bestseller list today.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome. Who helped you as you were starting to think about taking it to that next level and moving from creating it at home to becoming a business?
So that first year, so it was the spring of 2019 into the summer and like early fall, I had like all of my friends, all of my neighbors, all of my coworkers, like their friends. I was selling granola bars on Insta Story. I was like doing Survey Monkeys. Like it was like anybody that would try a granola bar, I just was like, tell me your feedback. Tell me like, is it worth it? I had everybody and anyone trying it. And it so it wasn't like just one person. I was trying to like get it out because, you know, if your mom tries it, great. If your friends try it, great. But I was like, I gotta get it out a little bit further because people were telling me I really like it. I even like in those early between 2015 and 2019, I gave my recipe to people because they were like, I love it. Can I make it myself? It's like, sure, absolutely. Like that's how like I didn't think about selling at all. Like I gave my recipe to people. Like granted, the recipe has changed since then, so like nobody will be able to replicate it. But I like that first 2019, I was doing like Survey Monkeys and Insta Story and anybody that would try it, and I got enough interaction from people and enough yeses and enough feedback, and we iterated enough with the nut butters that we got it to a place where it was like, I think that this is worth it to like give it a shot. And so I built a website. I got a certification through Cottage Food License, and I went for like I took the next step basically.
That's incredible. So you really were using community feedback to continue to make the product
Yeah.
stronger and stronger and to the point where you felt like, hey, I'm going to make this a business.
Yeah. Thank you.
What part of building Please and Thank You felt maybe surprisingly easy? And then what's been the part that no one warned you about that maybe kind of threw a curveball at you?
The easiest part, asterisk behind easy because it's an iteration, right? The branding part probably has fallen into place and we've taken iterations with it, but manners and respect and always coming back to that intention has always been at the core of who we are. I've always come back to that and the reason why we are doing this, right? So yeah, we've had iterations around it, and probably around year 3 is when I went into rebranding it with the bright colors that you see. Like it started in blacks and whites and really simples, and then I went into leaning into the bright colors that are more eye-catching with the granola buddies and kind of more movement and the smiley faces and stuff like that. And I'm really proud of where we've taken the brand and how capturing it is. And so I would say that part is probably the most rewarding and maybe the easiest the easiest to lean into and it feels the best because people resonate with it the most, I think. And so the branding part of it just sits so well. The hardest part is this industry blows my mind. I didn't grow up in the food industry in any way, shape, or form. And so I went into it in probably the most naive way, shape, or form. So retail, distribution, the sales process, the paperwork, hand holding of I don't even want to get into the details because it just is mind boggling. This industry blows my mind. And I feel like if we could disrupt how retail works for emerging brands, oh wow, could we make a difference for how brands get on the shelves and how consumers receive brands and how people get real food and not processed food and how money gets spent within the industry because there's a lot of money spent in ways that, I don't think is probably as economical as we all would hope that it is. And so the retail CPG industry blows my mind, I think. And that is probably the most difficult part of this company, of owning this company.
I just want to say, I think that you're a badass for navigating it. Just the fact that you're navigating it and saying, I believe in putting good food in the world. And there's maybe a lot that I don't know, and this is really, really hard, but I'm going to figure it out. It's just, it's commendable. It's just really awesome.
I just the people that live and breathe in this world and understand it like the back of their hand, just how your brain works is wow, really.
Switching gears on the personal side, you mentioned that you're a founder, you're a mom, wife, kind of human. How do you stay present for your family when your brain might be deep in founder mode?
Well, I try really hard. I don't always get it right. So I practice compartmentalization really hard. And so I think with a full-time job and being a founder and trying to be present for my kids and my husband, I choose to do quality over quantity. So I am the parent in the morning, so I don't start work until 9:30. So they get me in the morning, and so I don't take any meetings in the morning. And so I choose that time, and then I'm with them as much as I can between when my workday ends till bedtime, and then I work once they go to bed. And so I choose quantity and I try to look at them in their eyes and I try to listen to them, but I don't necessarily get a ton of time. So I just try to make it as best as possible. And I don't necessarily get it right all of the time, but I'm really hoping that they see the hard work and I'm hoping that it all pays off in the end and that they see mom can work really hard and it creates something really great for the family, and that they can see that you can do a lot of really cool things for the community and for the family and show up for us, at the same time as well. So talking about it, and describing what's happening and being transparent while I go through it too. I might have emotions and I might have feelings, but talking about it while I do that too, I think is important. I don't always get it right, but I certainly try.
Well, it sounds very intentional and being as present as you can, bringing them along the ride so that they're understanding.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah. So on the days when you feel like you're maybe running on empty with everything that's going on, what might be your go-to ritual or maybe a recipe or something that you do to help to bring your mindset back to center?
On a regular basis, so every day I prioritize a workout. So I get an hour to myself in the morning that I just get to do by myself, which I really enjoy. So I get to do whatever workout that I want. Sometimes I'm outside listening to, an audiobook or music, or I'm inside watching a show, and like that's my hour where I'm not on meetings. I'm not talking to kids or my husband, or I'm not responsible for anybody other than myself, which I think is really important for myself. And so I prioritize that, and that just sets me up for the rest of the day. I'm just a better human overall when I get that time. And then I really love, like, when I'm on empty or things are just too much, I really love it when I can have time when we just get rid of work in some way, shape, or form. Like if it's just sitting on the deck with my husband Trevor and like we're just having a glass of wine and just hanging out by the fire, or we go to the neighbor's house and just hang out and like talk about whatever they're talking about and I just listen, or we just talk about whatever. I refuel by being social with other people and just being able to take my brain out of whatever work that I'm doing, because I tend to have a lot of work. So as long as I can get myself out of that mentality and put myself into a different mentality, and I found that I like physically have to do that. Like me sitting by myself does not work. Like my brain will still be over here, so I have to like physically put myself with other people talking about something else, and then I can easily get myself out of that, and that fills my cup in many other ways. So I love being social and hanging out with people and having that time to just recharge.
I love that. So every founder kind of hits, what the hell am I doing? All from time to time. Can you tell us about a moment like that? Maybe what happened and how you end up pushing through?
I might be in that moment right now. You're hitting me at a time when we are executing a decision that we made at the beginning of the year. So I'll kind of walk you through it, where at the last year, around this time, we decided to look into a flow wrapper, which is a machine that wraps, dates, and seals your bars. So it's a machine that automates a really manual process that we were doing, and it just creates a whole lot more efficiency, helps us with scale, all of those things. And we applied for a grant to help pay for that machine, and we got denied the grant just by like a few data points. So in January, we had to decide, do we want to stay stagnant and we just continue the manual process and we don't really grow? We just kind of like stay where we're doing, and we just like do farmers markets, a couple of markets, and we just see what happens. Do we actually stop and just not continue and just call it? Or do we like fully invest and say, let's take a loan out for the machine, let's invest in efficiency processes, a pricing strategy that goes along with it, and sales, and really see like what is the potential? Because I felt really strongly around the fact that we have more potential, we have a product that is different, and we have a mission that makes an impact in the community. we thought really long and hard around like our family life, around the financials, around the viability of the product. And we said, I think there's viability in that, and we would be remiss if we didn't give it, the shot that it deserved. And so we made the decision. We did all the planning. We did all of the planning of it, the conversations, um, the packaging, the boxes, the loan, all of that stuff. And now we're in the execution. And July was a really big month of moving into the new kitchen, getting the machine, getting it up and running. We've had 2 productions in the new machine. I have mechanics there as we're speaking right now, adjusting the machine because it's going to take some adjustments to get the machine to meet our product and to keep it or to get it to run the way that we need it to run. And so that question is in the exact moment of, oh my gosh, what did we do? Did we do the right thing? And I keep leaning back to, we made the decision with the right intention, with the right purpose, I'm surprised sometimes with like what I'm capable of, and it comes back to confidence, right? And so when you get in those moments of, oh my gosh, what did I just do? It comes back to having confidence that I made the decision because I had the right intention. We know that we can get the reach that comes with it. And I would feel not right if we didn't do the thing, right? Like as we're doing it, it's showing growth and it's showing excitement, and people are realizing and like getting excited with us. So like there's another pull that's coming with the decisions that we're making and the story that we're sharing as we're going with it. And people are following the journey. And so the reason why we're still going through and we're pushing through it is like people are coming along the journey with us, and they're buying the product, and they're like excited with us. And so I'm still really excited. It's a lot. The learning curve is massive, and I'm spending a lot of time in operations and efficiencies and processes, and I want to, get out of that mode a little bit, but I want to get it right, and I want to get it so right so that we can focus on the next part too. So I am in that moment right now.
Well, it sounds like you're doing an incredible job navigating it, and I'm just so proud of you
Thank you.
and everything you've accomplished. For anyone who wants to follow along, where can they join and either try a bar or keep in touch with your journey?
Yeah, so you can always find us online at ptygranolacompany.com. And I set up a promo code for you, so New Pantry 15 for 15% off. So any of your listeners can get 15% off any of the orders. You can follow us on Instagram, P&TY Granola Co., Facebook, and then we're also on Kowalski as well.
Thank you so much for being here with us today.
And
Really
thanks for
appreciate
having
the
me.
time.
Appreciate it.